Well, apparently I'm having an effect. Only one half-truther decided to show up and play pigeon chess. The comment you posted, what the guy said to you, is all true. It's happening right now. Anyone can now see Nibiru naked. I was on the fence till 2 weeks ago. No, you weren't. The person who posted this, they weren't on the fence ever. They've been pushing this for a long time. No, they have. Or at least they've been listening to it. I got video and pics and gamma tests that can be done to the pics to prove it's an object. Gamma tests don't necessarily prove something's an object. It also doesn't prove you... Anyway. So, yeah, cry wolf, Waptec. That's what's happening. And when it appears, you're all just... You are all just parasites that will get smoked out in hell. Religious bentness. I would hate to be you, literally. So the last 100 times I've been told that over the last 4 years, whenever these predictions don't happen, and we hear you cry wolf constantly, I'm supposed to take this as you not really doing the following. I'm morally superior, dance to you. Could it be Satan? And I'm going to declare myself superior to you by claiming you're all going to burn in hell because you won't believe me when I tell you that my weird photos with lens flares prove there's a planet up there you can't see. Everywhere on the planet. This is the fun part about, and yes, it's a flat earther most of the time anyway, but this one may not be a flat earther. On a round or a flat planet, if you can see the sun at the same time someone else does, and if you don't see the same thing next to it, that means it's not close to the sun, it's close to the Earth. And if it's really small comparatively, the closer it is, the smaller it is. That's how scale and perspective actually work. And if you have two webcams, you didn't see any of this naked eye, and you didn't do any of these pictures. I know this person's channel, I'm not going to name them. They use webcams. But they only use the two webcams on someone's porch. One of them shows what they want to see. The other one obviously disproves it. They have to corroborate each other. If you point cameras at slightly different angles and you get slightly different positions for your lens flare, but they're a big difference by diameter compared to the sun, that means it's really close to the ground, like in the yard, or it's a lens flare effect. Ignoring this argument over and over again doesn't make it any more true. Next, if you believe the Earth is a flat Earth, everybody can see the sun at the same time, claiming the sun is a lot closer, like 3,000 miles away or whatever, then that means it's tiny. And that means the object is tiny. And you're afraid of something tiny. I'm not going to make a joke about that. Every one of the people refuses to explain why they won't corroborate this from multiple camera angles at the same time. Oh, I'm looking out the door. I'm seeing something. It's monumentally important. It proves everything I want to say. I won't tell anybody even 2 miles away to go out and double check to see if I'm having an illusion. Every one of these people who says, I can see it with a naked eye, walks around and squints until they can see it and then gets a video of it. So they can make up fake proof. It's no different than sitting there and photoshopping it. They're just trying to have the slight plausible deniability of waiting for a certain time of day when they get a lens flare effect to cause it. Now I'm going to compare this to the people who said they were going to do something about Anita Fuentes. Yeah, I am. If you're a religious person, you're locked into a set of beliefs that forbid you from being based on fact and truth. I'm not being nice about this. Unless you're able to let that leak in and then you say to yourself, yeah, most of the stuff proposed by every religion, that includes Islam, is bullcrap. So what isn't bullcrap? Well, in your religion and belief system, it's how you organize your life and how you start off everything, and from the perspective you have, the lens you see things through. Yes, the lens flare joke here. But the rest of the world doesn't corroborate it. So you have two choices. Ignore literally the majority of the observers out there who tell you that your observation isn't really the best one, or don't ignore them and acknowledge that maybe you should just not always go with it. Most of the people who claim Nibiru is coming or whatever are also people who claim the Earth is flat or whatever. They're a variety of person that believes this shepherd's-driven method for becoming sheep. I'm going to be doing a video on Anita Sarkeesian in the early years, how people create religions all the way up to political campaigns. I'm going to do this. But I'll give you a sneak peek here. This person's running a channel trying to create a following and likes picking arguments. I'm not naming the channel. The comments never show. You're not getting promoted here. Go peddle your bullcrap someplace else. I guarantee you eventually this person will do that. No, your comments aren't going to be showing because you're trying to promote your channel so you can get a follower. You can get a following. So you can have followers. So you can be a ringleader in your own little circus of stupid. That's what this is based on. Just like Anita Sarkeesian tricks a bunch of dissatisfied, self-absorbed people, the millennial, the me generation, of the newest one, into obeying her. So she has a political power struggle she can cause. So she can create something from nothing. This is no different. This is like flat earthers coming to my channel saying, I can prove the earth is flat because, and then they name off something that has nothing to do with the shape of the earth or any other thing about it. They literally go to the trouble of just creating these things that just say, yeah, we'll just, space pirates, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. None of these people, from Anita Sarkeesian to this person posting this, to the flat earthers, the majority of them really don't believe what they're saying. They're doing it to basically be trolls, or they're doing it to promote some greater good they're trying to achieve, and they know this is a dog whistle to attract people like flies on crap to attack a channel or mess with people so they can keep promoting it. As long as their idea keeps getting pushed up to the top ranking, they've won. It's like this arbitrary let's play a game kind of thing. All you have to do, if you want to prove, just like any other astronomy thing, if you wanted to prove something is actually next to the sun, from our perspective on the Earth, which is 93 million miles away from it, you'd have to find two fairly distant locations from each other, and one in the middle. You want 3 or 4 points of a camera pointing at the sun or pointing near it, showing the same damn thing. Or showing some difference that's not a huge difference. If there's a giant difference, it's really close to the Earth and it's also tiny. If it's a big thing and it's close to the Earth, it would be huge on the screen. Huge. And you'd have a difference too. Refusing to acknowledge this really straightforward thing is obnoxious. Yes, you can find a couple of these things, but all the other cameras say that it isn't there because it's a lens flare, because it's caused by the sunlight from the sun. And because of it, it depends on what lens is used and what camera. So it's not going to look the same. They don't look the same. It's not the same object. Yes, it is. I want to believe it is. Well, you either want to believe, or you need to say you believe, even if you don't, or you're just doing it to troll, or you're just doing it to create a following on YouTube so you can be the next Anita Sarkeesian or worse. This is a scam that's been going on over and over again with different flavors and different subject matter for thousands of years. I'll be covering it straightforward in a video later on. I might call it ancient snake oil straight from the tree in Eden or some other damn thing. But it's the same damn gaff. The same scam. There's no difference. It really is the same thing. And it is based on infuriating people who know better and attracting people who don't. And telling them constantly they're special, they're significant, they know something everybody else doesn't know. They're in the know because they're enlightened. And what you do is you rely on them just literally believing what you tell them and saying what you tell them to say. Instead of some really basic things like geometry or anything else. A couple of videos ago, I was going to do a video on someone's assertion on their channel that you can prove the Earth's flat for some blasted cockamamie reason. This needs to happen in their heads. The specific reason is religion. They want to believe a line from the Bible proves the Earth is flat. Okay, that's not really true. That's the end of it. But anyway, their thing was anti-crepuscular, I can't pronounce it, rays. It has nothing to do with it. They're just throwing that in, like, space pirates. It's an excuse. It's a hand wave. The reason they do it is anybody who actually looks up the definition, which none of their real followers will do, is going to say that they're wrong. And then they can say, see, I'm being persecuted. No, you're being told you're wrong. That's not being persecuted. That's sort of like flaming feminists in colleges not like being corrected when they misquote a statistic that's right on the screen behind them. They scream persecution instead of, oh, okay, I made a mistake. Acting like a grown-up. Just like that grade school teacher you had that wouldn't acknowledge that the book had an incorrect diagram or the book had the answer wrong in that problem. They're so authoritarian-based, they can't tolerate correcting a book or being corrected. Everything on their existence, everything in their universe is based on authority and those who they control. Another system of control. That's all it is. Anybody who screams sheeple loudly is usually trying to collect them. Anyway, I'll leave most of the quote here. I'll rip out the parts that benefit the person who posted it. And thanks for watching. Have a good day, and good luck with that.